which I guess is a good thing for you guys who don't want to screw up your testosterone and your endocrine function. This might be the one for you. Good morning, guys. Ed here. I partied too hard and I kind of lost my voice this weekend, but we're getting into it. We're talking about more drugs today. We got our next SARM in the series. Today we're talking about MK-677, also known as ibutamoren. We're going to talk about what it is, the benefits for bodybuilding, any side effects, how do we use it, maybe my personal experience on it. So let's get into that. Lumped in with SARMs, but not technically a SARM, which I guess is a good thing for you guys who don't want to screw up your testosterone and your endocrine function. This might be the one for you, so have a listen here. Not a SARM, it's a ghrelin receptor agonist and a growth hormone secretagogue. We're going to dive into that. So MK-677 will mimic the growth hormone stimulating action of ghrelin, ghrelin being the hunger hormone. It's going to lead to an increase in the secretion of GH and IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor. It's going to do that by this mechanism. The pituitary gland is going to release growth hormone, which then in turn triggers the release of IGF-1. And IGF-1 is going to have a myriad of effects in the body, bone density, muscle growth, We're going to get into all of that. So, IGF-1 has some interesting properties too. It can stimulate cell growth and even cell division. Normally you can't grow new cells, but IGF-1 can create new cells, thus creating new muscle cells, which is pretty cool. Usually you just change the size of your muscle cell. You don't actually increase the number of them. So that's a neat effect of IGF-1. So MK-677, some research suggests that it does not affect cortisol levels. Cortisol is the stress hormone that can limit muscle growth. There are some studies that say it doesn't affect that and others that say it does in fact raise your cortisol in a study versus placebo. So a little conflicting evidence there. I did a little bit of research on it, but I'll have to dive into that more just because there is a little back and forth. This stuff was developed to treat like growth hormone deficiencies in children and to help the elderly. This can increase lean body mass and bone density with no change in body fat, which is great. We don't want to get fat, but we do want to get big. Like I said earlier, it's different from SARMs in the fact that it doesn't affect your body's androgen receptors. It won't suppress your testosterone or have any effects on like your hormones and your endocrine system. So that's a neat little property, this stuff. It's basically a poor man's HGH. Yeah, a poor man's HGH. So how do we take it? Well, oral dropper. It is orally available, so we can take it in the form of a liquid solution right under the tongue, and then you swallow it back. You do not need to inject this stuff like HGH or peptides. There's a lot of peptides out there that people are taking that they need to inject like 3 to 5, even 6 times a day. Nobody wants to do that. Fuck that. We're not doing all them injections. We're just going to take this stuff by our mouth. It works great, and it's very orally available. It's mostly used for bulking phases. I got a little lift there. It's mostly used for bulking phases. If you want to try to cut, I wouldn't even try to cut on this because you're probably not going to lose weight. You're going to gain weight, and we'll get into why in a second. But yeah, what are some benefits? What can we expect out of this? What are we looking to gain from it? Well, we're going to get an increase in lean body mass. We're going to be able to acquire more muscle mass than we would have otherwise. It will not increase your body fat, but here's the kicker. It will increase water retention, which will lead to weight gain and perhaps increases in blood pressure. So keep an eye on your blood pressure. If you're taking this stuff, you're going to kind of get a little water weight. It will improve your sleep quality. I think it says you go into like a deeper REM sleep and you just feel like you sleep better while you're taking it. This next one could be a good or a bad depending on who you are. It can increase appetite. So for those who are hard gainers, if you're a skinny little dude and you're like, how do I gain weight? I can't eat enough. This stuff is going to make you hungry all the time. You're going to be starving and you're just going to eat food all day nonstop. So increase in appetite could be good if you're looking to gain weight. There's a lot of other little benefits, like similar to like the growth hormone benefits as far as like hair, nails, skin. It's going to make everything a little bit nicer. Like people just notice, they're like, oh, my nail quality improved, my hair is like thicker, it's growing faster, my skin isn't as oily and acne, whatever. So yeah, it does have other stuff like that, cool little benefits. Like I said, I wouldn't use it for cutting, but if you want to, it does prevent like muscle atrophy, muscle wasting while you're cutting calories. So you'll be able to hold on to more muscle while in a calorie deficit. So what are some of the side effects? Well, you might be tired all the time. It says it can increase tiredness. There's the water retention I mentioned earlier. Your body's going to kind of swell up a little bit with water. You're going to be hungry all the time, which positive or negative, depending on how you look at it. And some users report muscle and joint pain. Now, I've tried this stuff a couple times. We'll get into my experience with it, but I haven't ever had any muscle or joint pain while on this stuff. So, yeah. Let's look at dosage, timing, cycle length. What can we do? How do we take this? Cycles are typically going to be in the 8 to 12 plus week range. A lot of guys do take this longer. It has some great benefits that really kind of build up over time. So the longer you take it, the more positive benefits you're going to see from it. But your first time around, I would stick to short, maybe 8 to 10 weeks. See how your body reacts, see how you like it, and then your next time around you can go longer if you want. Dosage is typically between 10 to 30 milligrams, but like I always say, less is more. Start with less, and then you can increase from there. I would say start with 10, see how your body does at 10, and then if you want to later on, up it down the road. But it seems like there's a point of diminishing returns past 25 milligrams where you don't actually get as much benefits the more you take. So I would kind of cap it at like 25, 30 the most. I wouldn't really do more than that. Some people do, but you don't need to. You'll get the benefits taking less. So it has a 24-hour half-life, meaning we can dose this once per day. You don't need to split it up, but you will get more stable blood concentrations if you take one dose in the morning, one dose at night. So say you're taking 10 milligrams a day, 5 in the morning, 5 at night. That's simple. You don't need a PCT because this will not suppress your testosterone. Has no effect on your body's endocrine function. Your hormones will not be out of whack when you take MK-677. Awesome. Love that. I have tried this a few times actually, and I'm taking it right now. I started maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm currently taking 20 milligrams a day. I'm taking 10 in the morning, 10 at night. I think I do feel a little more tired at certain points in the day taking it. Like it's weird. I think they say if you take it at night, then it's good because you kind of fight off the tiredness. I guess if you take it during the day, then maybe you'll be a little more tired throughout the day. Not everybody gets that symptom, but I mean, I think I notice it a little bit myself. I feel like my body composition has kind of improved a little bit. I'm definitely gaining weight. I think it's because my hunger is just through the roof and I'm eating like crazy, but in the last maybe 3 weeks, I put on like 7, 8 pounds. I don't know, depending on the time of day, sometimes closer to 10 pounds. You gain weight quick on this stuff because you're just hungry as shit all the time. As far as like strength, I think I noticed a slight increase in strength in the gym. Not as much as other compounds, like on, you know, if you're going to take like LGD or like testosterone, you know, the heavy duty, boom, like real gear, you're going to get strong as fuck. But like on this stuff, you're going to see a slight increase in strength. I think that comes along with just the increase in weight. When you weigh more, you can lift more. So yeah, there's that. But that's about it. That's MK-677 in a nutshell. There are a lot of positives to this one and not many of the bad side effects that you get with like steroids and SARMs that will suppress your testosterone. You don't need to worry about that. So not that this one's more of like a intro newbie compound, but if you don't want to screw with your body's like natural functions a whole lot, this one kind of has lesser side effects. If you want to start experimenting on lab rats with it, because again, it's not for human consumption, so don't take it. I don't advise taking it. But yeah, so if you guys have any comments, feedback, drop them below. Let me know if I missed anything. I think I covered most of it, but yeah, MK-677, boom, Ed out.